What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Tap In. It's been a few days since I've done one of these, but I'm back. Here we are. And today I have on my cousin, John Martray. He's a massive Steelers fan. We'll just waste no time. We'll bring him in.
What's
How's
up,
it going
guys?
today, John?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me, Jared.
Hey, no problem. Hey, happy birthday, buddy. Just so you
Thank
know, I
you.
want to
Appreciate
put
it.
it out there. If you're watching, say what's up. Say happy birthday to John in the chat. I'd really appreciate it. He would as well. But you're a massive Steelers fan. Just like
Oh,
myself,
definitely.
obviously, wore the Steelers shirt just because of it. But there is, there's a lot going on with Pittsburgh, and we will get to it. But the first
Oh, yeah.
question that I have for you today, Baker Mayfield went on the You Never Know podcast, hosted by Mike. I guess his name used to be Mike Stud, but now it's just Mike. He's a music
Yep.
artist, and he talked about his future in the NFL. Baker did, and he didn't really talk about any landing spots, but he talked about he felt disrespected by the Browns and stuff like that. And just based off that interview, you can tell that he's not going to be back in Cleveland. It's very
Oh, definitely not.
obvious. Where is the best landing spot for Baker Mayfield in your mind?
I might have to say Seattle, honestly.
All right. Interesting.
I like I like how he would fit with Pete Carroll, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have weapons in Seattle still with Lockett and DK and
Chris Carson at running back.
Chris Carson running back. Yeah, I think
They
there's a
also
lot of
just recently got
places.
Noah Fant at tight end in the trade with Russell Wilson. So they
They
do
did,
have
yes.
weapons. They do have weapons.
And there's a lot of teams that don't need a quarterback nowadays. So Seattle is one of them. I don't think they're going to stick with Drew Lock. Or Geno Smith. I don't see that. But I mean, I guess we'll see if they make a move in the draft. I have no clue, but
Yeah.
I would have to say
I'll
Seattle.
be interested to see what Seattle's doing. I think Seattle would be a great spot for him. I think you could see Carolina going in on him.
Oh, definitely.
But he's been linked recently a lot. It's been reported that supposedly if he was cut, the Pittsburgh Steelers would sign him or offer him a contract the second it is announced that he is a free agent.
Oh, yeah.
Baker in Pittsburgh, that'd be interesting because he's a former Browns quarterback. Would you like Baker as a Steelers quarterback?
Well, my bias, I hate the Browns, so I always hated Baker Mayfield, but there's no doubt he has talent. And I think he can come in there, and if we would sign him, compete with Mitch Trubisky for the starting quarterback spot,
Mm-hmm.
I would say he could probably beat out Trubisky for the quarterback spot. I would like to see. I think Baker would be a good addition to the Steelers. I don't know if it will happen because I don't know if the Browns. I feel like the Browns are lenient, letting him go because of this. I feel like they kind of know. But I mean, it would be pretty cool. I think it would definitely not hurt the Steelers in any way.
No, I think it would be a definite upgrade if he competes and for whatever reason cannot beat out Mitch Trubisky, which
Yeah.
I love Mitch Trubisky. Father Mitch is our quarterback right now. But I mean, I personally think that Baker Mayfield's a much better quarterback than Mitchell Trubisky. Yeah, Baker struggled to perform last year, but he also had a torn labrum.
He was
and
also hurt all season.
Massive injuries to his arm and was hurt all year. Played through it, showed a lot of toughness by doing that. I think it would be an interesting competition. It'd be an upgrade over Mason Rudolph if he just was a backup, because Mason is not. And at this point, I think the Steelers should probably, if Baker would get cut before the draft, which wouldn't happen, I think they should sign Baker, and I think
definitely.
I think they should also draft a quarterback. Like, take as many shots as you can at quarterback, because if the more shots you take, the more you're bound to hit on at least one.
Yeah.
And we've never been in this position in our lifetimes to see the Steelers without a franchise quarterback. And I'm hoping it's not going to be as miserable as some of these other franchises have had to suffer in the past.
Hopefully not.
But I would love to see Baker as a Steelers fan in Pittsburgh. I think I'm a Baker Mayfield guy. You know that.
Yeah, I think Browns fans wrote him off, and the organization wrote him off way too quickly. He had a pretty solid season. He led them to their first playoffs in 20 years.
Yeah.
Won a playoff game in Pittsburgh. That's not easy to do. I mean, I hated that, but I think we all did. But he has talent. There's no doubt about that.
He has really great talent, and he's shown it in the past. He He can throw the football. He has about great arm strength. He can, in my opinion, throw the football just as good as some of these top-tier quarterbacks can. I just think that system's never been good for him.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next question here. We was talking about the Steelers quarterback disarray that we're kind of in at this point because Mitch Trubisky looks like to be our starting quarterback. And the Steelers have been linked to pretty much every quarterback possible in this upcoming draft. Do you think the Steelers draft a quarterback in this draft or in the first round? And if so, then who do you think it is?
If the Steelers draft the quarterback in the first round, I think they would pull the trigger on Kenny Pickett if he's there. I don't see the Steelers moving up to take a quarterback. I just don't. I feel like that's not like the Steeler way. Even though we saw it with like Devin Bush a few years ago, that was the first time they moved up since Troy Polamalu.
And has it really worked? Not necessarily, but
No.
Devin Bush could have a great year this year.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk, but if a first round, I see Kenny Pickett. If not, I can actually see them going mid rounds with Carson Strong. I think he's a good quarterback.
Yep. What about Zappy?
I love Zappy.
I'm
the biggest fan of Zappy. I just don't think the Steelers would take him. I think Zappy would be a good fit in New England, to be honest.
You're right.
I feel like sitting behind Mac Jones, Zappy could do good, and then Belichick could coach him up.
I think that's the position that he's going to get drafted to as well, Zappy. Like kind of off topic, but I think Zappy will get drafted to be like a backup. He's not going to be asked or drafted to be a starter. He's going to be drafted to be a backup. So New England would be an interesting place. I think the Steelers will draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft. And if Kenny Pickett's not there, I won't be upset. If Malik Willis isn't there, I won't be upset. I think the Steelers are going to draft Desmond Ridder or Sam Howell.
Do you think that would be second round?
Or
do you think they would take him first?
I think in the first, because I think Sam Howell and both Desmond Ridder are going to be there at 20.
Yeah, they definitely will.
I can tell you think that because you just asked, is that the second round? So you definitely don't have a first round grade on Desmond Ridder or Sam Howell, do you?
I don't. I like both quarterbacks. I think they're definitely going to be gone by the second round. I like both, and I would like Sam Howell as the quarterback. Steelers. Yeah. I watch UNC games, and
he's a talent. Yeah. The problem was he had no weapons this last season, and it really kind of sunk his draft stock because he had literally no O-liner or wide receivers to throw to whatsoever. But along with being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, we could see in the background you have a mini hoop that is the West Virginia Mountaineers. We know you're a big West Virginia fan. I'm a massive Pitt fan. They just recently re-upped for another 4 years for the Backyard Brawl. And I'm really curious to get your take. What is the best rivalry in college football?
Today or all time?
Today.
Ooh,
it is a tough question.
I'd probably have to go the Iron Bowl if I would pick something, because I feel like any team that comes in the Iron Bowl always has a chance to win. Like, I love the rivalries with like Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, but those are just so lopsided in the standings, like as of recent.
Yep.
I feel like every year, no matter how like good or bad Auburn is, they always give Alabama a game.
Yep.
Always make it close. Like, what was it? Like 2 years ago, they were 7-5, and they beat Bama.
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when they were not good at all, and they did beat Bama. So yes.
Yeah, and it's always fun, especially with your brother watching the game.
Yes. That's one of the reasons why that's my favorite rivalry, because watching him get heated when they're struggling versus Auburn. I mean, in my opinion, like I do like all-time rivalries, I would probably go Ohio State, Michigan, because it's like
all time.
So massive. It's such a massive rivalry that it's so interesting to watch. But like as of late, it hasn't been very interesting. No, and not Alabama and Auburn as of late has really been all that interesting. But for me and you, because we watch that rivalry all the time together, watching it with my brother, who is the biggest Alabama fan, who was on the show just a few weeks ago, that is one of the funnest games I ever watched during college football season.
Oh, definitely, especially the kick six and all the
Yikes.
miracles.
Yeah.
He's going to hate me for that one, but
Yeah, he's going to hate you for that one. He's going to hate you for that one. But WVU actually just recently landed a new quarterback out of the transfer portal, JT Daniels, who was the backup quarterback at the University of Georgia, has transferred to WVU. Can he turn his career around? Stuttered there. Can he turn his career around at West Virginia?
Oh, I definitely think so. Playing in the Big 12, honestly, I don't see like Big 12 teams being great this year, with the exception of Texas, and Oklahoma's always in there, but I don't know how things are going to shape out for them. But West Virginia always has a good offense. They always put up points. I think the scheme with Neil Brown's definitely going to fit well with JT Daniels this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think JT Daniels, the scheme with Neil Brown is going to fit. Neil Brown has to do something this year or else he deserves to be fired.
Definitely. I agree.
And this could be the year where he decides to figure things out. Because this is his third or fourth year at WVU. Yeah, it's his third, maybe fourth year at WVU. I'm not like a biggest Mountaineer football fan, obviously, but I know you are. And if he doesn't do it this year, it's time to let him go.
I agree.
And this is the best quarterback he's had since he's been the head coach, because the last best quarterback we had also came from the SEC at West Virginia, and that was Will Grier.
One of my favorite college quarterbacks of all time.
All time.
Love
one of my favorites. One of my favorites as well. He had I'll tell you what, the USFL, it needs Will Grier because the quarterback play in that league stinks, especially our Pittsburgh Maulers team. I can't watch these games. I can't watch these games. But
awful.
My team, my college team, the Pitt Panthers, they also recently landed a former USC quarterback because JT Daniels originally came from USC, actually lost a job to this guy, Keaton Slovis. Now, they both are former USC quarterbacks. Which one will have more success in their new spot, Keaton Slovis or JT Daniels?
I got to give it to Slovis here. I mean, you have the returning Biletnikoff winner and Jordan Addison coming back.
Bingo.
That's explanation in itself right there. And I think Pitt's going to contend for another ACC championship. I think they're going to be in the mix of everything. Shocked me them being in the preseason top 10, to be honest.
Shocked me as well.
Very shocking, but I think they definitely deserve it. I think they can definitely prove it, and they could be one of the top teams in college football this year, again, with Slovis.
Yeah, I agree. I think Slovis will be better because I think Pitt is just in a much better spot. Like you said, they're returning the Biletnikoff Award winner of last year, the best receiver in the nation, Jordan Addison. Think about all the other receivers he had to win that award against.
Yeah, so many.
Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jamison Williams.
There's like Drake 3 or 4 first round guys just there.
Right there is a bunch of first round picks that are going to go in this year's draft, and they couldn't beat Jordan Addison for that award. So I think Slovis is just in a better spot, and that's one of the reasons he'll be more successful than JT Daniels.
Definitely.
But not only are they returning Jordan Addison, last year Pitt had a freshman tight end that was a dog. They had a freshman running back that was also a dog that are both returning and playing for Pitt this upcoming season on the offensive side. Pitt actually really didn't lose much talent outside of Kenny Pickett.
They have a great
overall.
Defense too.
Yes.
They have a great
defense. I also expect Pitt to contend this upcoming season for an ACC championship, if not make a push to the college football playoffs.
I could definitely see it for sure.
It's a hot take, though. It's a hot take.
You can't drop a game in the ACC this year. You're not going to make it. If they drop a single game, they're out of it, whether they win out or not.
I agree, and Clemson still scares me because I don't know if Pitt has the depth to beat a Clemson. I'm glad that Pitt last year didn't have to face Clemson because Clemson started figuring out towards the end of the year last year, but were just so bad in the beginning that they didn't really give themselves a fair shake or shot at facing Pitt in the championship game. So personally, I'm a little nervous if we do have to face Clemson in that championship game this year, although I do think that Pitt is a much improved team even though they lost their, what was he, a 6th-year senior, Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of years of Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, a lot of years of Kenny Pickett. I'm a Kenny Pickett guy. I love Kenny Pickett. But
Wait, before we move on, Jared, I just want to point out the 8 yards in the ACC championship game Kenny Pickett threw for against Clemson.
Guy couldn't complete a pass. I understand that was the Clemson team. Like, that was a Clemson team. You know how frustrated this makes me because the year prior, Kenny Pickett comes in, beats undefeated University of Miami.
Yeah.
We're sitting in the Boston Beanery, John Martray, me, and my brother JT. We're sitting in the Boston Beanery, a restaurant that has since then closed down. JT looks at me in the face and tells me that Pitt still sucks. And I look at him directly in the face. I said, Pitt will make it to the ACC championship next season. You can count on it. I was right. I would like to make that clear. I was right. I was correct. To this day, Kenny Pickett that's one of the reasons he's my favorite quarterback of all time, because he helped me win a bet versus my brother, who is a Bama fan. I'm not used to seeing success in college football. And to be fair, West Virginia fan, you're not really used to it either.
I mean, Penn State fan, mostly.
Yeah. So Penn State, you're used to disappointment.
I've known heartbreak for so long.
Yeah, you're just used to disappointment because James Franklin is an extremely overrated coach.
Oh, I agree. And I want to make a point that Sean Clifford should not start again. I will say that to the day I die. Sean Clifford should never start another game for Penn State football.
Wait, Sean Clifford's somehow coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back.
I didn't know Sean Clifford was still playing college football. How many years has he been there?
It's probably 5th, I would say.
5th? I thought this was maybe his 6th.
It might be with the COVID year, to be honest.
He took that COVID year eligibility then, I'm assuming?
Yeah, definitely.
Yikes. I'm so sorry, John.
Because I want to...
Hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe he will have his Kenny Pickett year this year.
Hey, not with the offense they're running.
I was trying to give you some hope. But our last question, it's a college football quarterback. The most recognizable name when you think of football quarterbacks of all time. It's their nephew. The Manning family, their nephew, Arch Manning. It's being talked about. Everybody talks about, oh, he might go to Texas. He might go to Alabama. Lately, it's been reported that he's thinking about going to the University of Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
His mom is an alumni there. His sister is a current student there. Do you think that Arch Manning might actually skip the SEC, skip getting coached by Nick Saban, skip getting coached by Steve Sarkisian? Let me go to the University of Virginia. Do you think that actually might happen?
No, not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell.
Hey, I don't think so either.
He is staying in the SEC, definitely.
Yeah, there's no way the Manning family goes, you know what? I understand your sister's there and you love your sister. But there's no way they're going to go, well, we want him to go to the ACC. Listen, I understand scouts are going to find him because he's Arch Manning. Scouts are going to find him. He's going to go to the NFL. He's going to be a first-round talent, I think. I hope that he doesn't, for whatever reason, fail out. Because I'd love if my kids would well, I'm not going to have kids for another 10 years, so I'm going to take that back. So they're not going to get to see another Manning. But I hope that, I get the chance to see a full Manning's career in my lifetime. A 20-year run of a Manning in the NFL. I'm hoping I technically did get to see Eli, but I didn't really pay attention to Eli. I love watching Arch Manning. I think there's not a shot that he actually goes to Virginia.
No, not a chance.
I understand with NIL that Virginia might be able to pull it off, but there is not a single chance that he goes to Virginia.
You might as well just start playing Vince McMahon's theme song right here, right now.
Bingo.
No chance in hell.
Bingo. Yeah. No, that's really about all the questions I had for you. Was there anything else you wanted to hit on before we get off here?
I want to get your opinion on Pat McAfee, the WrestleMania.
You want to get my opinion on Pat McAfee's WrestleMania? I'll tell you what. You know I'm a Pat McAfee guy.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And it was kind of interesting because it was almost like the way the match kind of went. You remember watching his NXT debut?
Yeah.
His wrestling debut. against Adam Cole. That scumbag, Adam Cole. That short little man, Adam Cole.
One of my favorite Pat McAfee show episodes was when Adam Cole came on and that skit that they did.
Bingo.
Hilarious.
It was awesome. But it was one of the funniest things of all time. Because he was just openly disrespecting Adam Cole right to his face.
Mm-hmm.
But Pat did some things in that match versus Adam Cole that just blew my socks off, right?
Oh yeah, especially like I saw he did it in the WrestleMania too when he
the
did
backflip off the top rope. Yeah.
Backflip up to the jump and then jump back up to the top rope.
Yeah, like that was like really cool to me, but it was like I had already seen it.
Yeah.
Now that spinning catch where he like squeezed where he put his head in between his legs and did like that spin. That was sick.
That was cool.
That was sick. And like the fact that he got to face Vince McMahon in his WrestleMania debut was also awesome. I loved it.
Got to take a stunner by Stone Cold.
Yeah. I loved it.
One of the best sells I've ever seen.
Best top 3 sell of all time, probably.
Oh, definitely.
Of all time. But yeah, no, I loved it. He's got me back into wrestling as of late. Like I actually I slowly follow wrestling like on the down low. Like I'm like, hey, what's going on SmackDown tonight? I check Twitter, see what's going on. Like I actually understand. I'm slowly following some of the storylines, and I'm slowly like jumping all the way in on like back in WWE, and it's awesome.
WWE, they made a really good decision bringing in Pat McAfee whenever they did because they brought in a lot more fans.
Yeah, he's brought in a large audience, and he's brought in a lot of old fans, me and you, back to the business, back into wrestling. And what's crazy is that some of the guys we that we watched growing up, you know, it was awesome. Someone's a fan of John in the chat. LeBron John, the God.
Oh, that's TJ.
TJ, shout out TJ.
Yeah, shout out TJ. His birthday today. Same
birthday. Hey, happy birthday, TJ. All right, John. It was fun having you on. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Tap In.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Jared.
Yeah, no problem. Hope you guys have a great week. I'm gonna have another episode hopefully tomorrow with James from Boda Sports, and I'm also possibly gonna have an episode on. I'm actually gonna film it today. There's a chance that if James from Boda cancels on me, it'll premiere tomorrow. But an episode with Jay the Plug on Tuesday as well. Hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you guys tomorrow.